Every word in every language, every description, sign, metaphor is part of reality. Human beings can only borrow knowledge, they do not invent it. They can bend it, twist it, see only fragments or a single spark. But in the end, human knowledge converges into one system, like a patchwork quilt. Today, the system of human knowledge, the forbidden tree of knowledge, is reflected back to us in AI at the very moment before all its leaves begin to fall. But Hebrew is different. It is not patchwork. It is a woven fabric, a fabric of knowledge from earth and from heaven, one that cannot be unraveled. The warp is the foundation, the threads stretched from top to bottom. The weft is the threads woven across them, side to side. The ones we interlace through our choices, and through them shape reality. The chaotic reality, the mixed reality, the vortex in which we live. Humanity is slowly climbing the threads of the warp, beginning to gain perspective from a higher point of view. From there, the fabric can be seen from the front and from the back, from above and from below. And what until now was told in parables, like bedtime stories for small children, begins to dissolve into more precise formulas. This channel does not intend to argue with the stories, only to read them again, to dismantle them into the building blocks from which they are made, the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, and to assemble them again. Today we will read again the story of the nails, 3, 4, or 5, that fastened Jesus to the cross. Everything encoded in the first 5 books is a map of time. Every combination of letters that forms a word is like a hand on a clock. But this clock is circular, exactly like our world. The hands move in one direction according to the clock. This is visible time, what we see. And from the other side, what is hidden from us, the hands move in the exact opposite direction. This movement is encoded in the word kadam. Its meaning is both what came before and what advances forward. The reason everything connected to Jesus links to the Trinity is hidden in letters that join together to form the word 3. This is the time that preceded where we are today, time 4. But times do not end at one exact point and begin exactly from there. They always blend into one another. So within time 4, 3 is still visible. And within time 4, time 5 is already beginning to appear. The first step in opening the code is to understand that the story is about time, not about us. We are the interconnected parts, like gears in a machine, that set the story of time in motion. This mechanism moves the story forward and backward at the same time. To understand how Jesus fits within this mechanism, every trace of his appearance must be broken down into the Hebrew letters. Every Hebrew word connected to his story becomes a key, revealing where we stand on the axis of time. Greek, Latin, and other languages lead us away from this process. They are interpretations of the human mind, a mind driven by the fear that the Creator has abandoned his creation. From that fear, the mind develops a coping mechanism, an elaborate guessing game so intricate that once you enter it, it becomes difficult to find the way out. The exit is found only by returning to the Hebrew letters. The second key to understanding the code is this: everything that exists is part of the design. Nothing was left to chance. Everything was written by a single author. Truth requires falsehood. The straight requires the crooked and the twisted. Certainty requires doubt. Creation is dual, but the Creator is one. And so, within this root from which the word nail or nails is built, the entire story can be found. Message, obedience, devotion, morality, discipline, ethics, remove, and hair that bristles, like the back of a frightened cat. Why? Because the message passes through the body, through the flesh. That is what Jesus on the cross tells, that now an age opens in which everything passes through the flesh, through the body, through the human body. There are no more animal sacrifices. Now we pay the price of blood that was set from the very beginning. The journey becomes personal and painful, and so the root tells the story. Afflictions, sufferings, torments, agonies, hardships, distress, tribulations, ordeals, chastisements, punishments, pain, misery. Why? Because it is a journey of removal. All creation is a story of correction. But as already said, creation is dual, a double-edged sword. In this painful journey of removing everything unnecessary, the word works in all directions, stripping away even morality itself. And so, with eyes wide open, one can look at our world and understand why it appears as it does. How the narrow path has brought us all the way back here, back to Sodom and Gomorrah. So words that echo from the story of Jesus begin to connect with one another, explaining that the messages from above will now arrive through a new technology. Between the Hebrew words for flesh, the nail, the scroll, Nazareth, Bethlehem, the white donkey, and more, a code of future communication begins to open before us. A system we are living inside right now. We are at its peak and just before its fall. On a personal note, I want to say that even though this channel takes up most of my day, the work is endless. At this stage, I can only present the roots. Perhaps one day I will also have the time and the ability to remain and explain how every letter that joins the word continues the movement. For now, remember this. The code exists only in the first 5 books called the Torah. The word Torah contains the entire story. It tells us that we are like tourists here, caught inside the network created by words. Until we loosen the letters and separate them from one another, the play continues to perform on every stage, on every screen, inside all our relationships. This world is a hall of mirrors. It is easy to get lost here or to become trapped on the branches of the tree of knowledge. Now look at the screen. This is the solution. And before I leave you alone with the words, I want you to notice one word at the end of the video. This is the edge of our age. What appears to us as the beginning of something new actually announces the end of the age of the flesh and the beginning of the soul's release from the body.
a smell that leaves a trail.
let's look at Exodus 35:2, which suggests that if you have pork, you should be put to death. Let me finish, I'll be done. If you plant two crops side by side, you should be stoned by your entire village. If you wear a suit, which you are wearing now, that contains two different fibers intertwined into the same jacket, you should be burned to the stake by your own mother. Now, following that rationale, in Leviticus 18:22, and it states that man shall not sleep with man, why aren't we burning ourselves at the stake as well? Why aren't we stoning ourselves to death?
Do you care to address my main contention that Christ affirmed biblical marriage in the book of Matthew? And can you tell me the difference between the ceremonial, the moral, and the ritual law? And then finally, also, tell me about Christianity, the difference in the new and the old covenant, or are you just going to cherry pick certain verses of ancient Israel that do not apply to new Christianity?
Did you know the nails used to crucify Jesus were 7 inches long and specifically engineered for maximum suffering? These weren't ordinary nails. They were square-shaped iron spikes designed by Roman executioners. And here's what most people get wrong. The nails didn't go through Jesus's palms. They went through his wrists. The palms couldn't support the weight of a human body. The Romans knew exactly where to drive these massive spikes, straight through the most painful nerve centers. Archaeologists have actually found first-century crucifixion nails that prove this brutal engineering. Every time Jesus tried to breathe, he had to push up against these 7-inch spikes piercing his wrists and feet. The pain would have shot through his entire body with each breath. This wasn't just execution. It was calculated torture designed to cause the most agony possible. Yet Jesus endured this willingly for our salvation. The physical reality of what our Savior suffered is beyond what most of us can imagine. If you love Jesus, like this post and send it to a friend to spread the gospel.